Hola a todos, ¿qué tal? De este lado del micrófono y de la cámara les saluda Leo Moreno, como ya es costumbre para el Depósito Sonoro aquí en Ciudad de México, llevándoles entrevistas muy interesantes con talentos nacionales, internacionales y de diversos tipos y géneros musicales, sobre todo vanguardia sonora a través del Depósito Sonoro. Y hoy tenemos el gran honor de poder platicar nada más y nada menos con Victoria Harrison, mejor conocida como Amazónica, una de las DJs más respetadas del mundo por tantas cosas que ha hecho. It's a pleasure to have you, Harry. Thank you very much for your time. I was just doing a great presentation about you.
Oh, thank you so much. Gracias.
Gracias a ti. So thank you very much for your time. We're going to be talking about your great new song, New Start, and all that comes with it, spiritually, energetically, in a way, because we all do deserve a new start, Harry.
Yes, exactly.
And your new
Exactly.
start is beautiful. Tell us a little bit about how did you come to that idea, because you were having some difficulties maybe in life, as everyone, of course, but this new start is valid for everyone in the world.
Totally. I really needed a change. I was really stuck and I was like living in a, studio apartment. I was like really unhappy and my career had like come to a standstill and I was kind of like I just really need I really want to do my own music. I want to produce my own music. I don't want to waste for anyone. I don't want to wait for a label. I just want to be free to create and I want to have like this magical life and be happy and do these things. And the song was literally like, it was like a magic spell, almost like a manifestation. And it was like from my soul. And I was like bringing in
Okay.
like I'm going to change my life. Like this is going to be a new start. And I think you can hear that in the chorus.
Yeah.
And it worked. It fucking worked. And then everything like has been so much better since then. What's crazy is like just the writing of the song and then me producing it and working on it at home. And like I left it for a bit and then would go back to it. And then when I went to the final bit, when I went to the studio, Assault and Battery in London and worked with Cecil to kind of get it ready to mix, it was like each stage of that song has been like a different stage of my life. And now the fact that it's being released into the world and it's the first album which I've written and produced everything in its entirety. So that's kind of huge for me, because I started very young and everyone was like trying to make me do things. So for me that it's a new start creatively. I'm living the life I always wanted to, but also this song and this new path is like I get a new start, like I'm going to come to Mexico and I'm really excited about that because I've never played there. There's like my music's getting into places that it never was before. So my career's got a completely new start. So it's wild. It's wild. It's magic.
Yeah, it's great because this is the maybe one of the most important ways of doing a catharsis with your life through music. Robert Smith said that the Cure was called because the Cure, the band, because the only cure, real cure, is the music. So you came from maybe some personal issues or whatnot. You've been very successful in many ways. You've been in working with artists, huge artists like Manson, like Machine Gun Kelly. You've been DJing for events in the Oscars and Golden Globes and whatnot. And congratulations for this career. But this other facet maybe of your art is straight from you and nothing to do with the other music side of you. So I think that's the great thing. We were talking about making catharsis through your own lyrics, music. And as you said, sometimes people want to lead you this way or this way in your career, but this is the fresh start for Amazonica. And it sounds great in the day and age of fusion. God rock trap, you said
Yeah.
it fucking worked. You said so. So I think you fulfilled many objectives in a way, a great song in this era of fusion and the narrative, a positive narrative for you as an artist.
Totally, totally. It's mad because I started off as an artist and I just basically had like the worst time ever within the industry and the worst bad luck of all time. And which and then I kind of accidentally started DJing, you know, just out of like needing to eat. And I was like, and people were like booking, and then it just got like out of control. And I was like so depressed when I started DJing. It was so hard, like just trying to, you know, just not being able to be like a recording artist and all that. So every DJ set I did was like to heal my own pain, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
of
I would
course.
just play the music just to make myself feel better. And like I was in a really bad place. And I feel like I'm a really good DJ because it's literally like I've learned how to not only make myself happy, but it raises the vibration of the room, and then I can read the crowd, and I'm like super sensitive to it, because it to me it's like it was life or death, you know? Like,
Yeah.
what songs am I going to play that are going to make me feel better tonight? Like, how can I take myself on a journey? And I'd always feel a lot better afterwards. Now coming back to actually doing music, and it kind of like I mastered that. I've mastered how to like go into a room, read the crowd, and like raise the vibration and get people inspired and feel good. I know that. Like, I get that feedback from it. So that's worked. But now coming back to actually my original artistry of doing my own music, it's like the DJing, it's like I needed to heal myself, to kind of put myself back together in order to have the strength to kind of go, okay, I'm going to put music out again, but without all the industry and all the things that were like hurting me and
Yeah.
upsetting me. And now I feel completely free, because the only person, when's the single out? I ask myself, I'll put it out then. Oh, what do I want this to sound like? Oh, I'll do it then. And it's fucking brilliant. I
Yeah,
love it.
because you have your own times. You're maybe you are your own boss in a way, and
Yes.
you did this beautiful effort called Diamonds and Dragons, so you can just work just away from all these contractual complications. I was checking this in your Spotify information. It says in a little paragraph about the situation of the industry, one of the worst things of the industry in this day and age of hyper digitalism. Harry, there are good things about this immediate connection around the world, but there are also, the upside downs of it. So we have lost maybe a little bit the ability of the deep listening. It's a single maybe in the world, and that's happening all around the world. Which would be an album for Harry, for Amazonica, that you would recommend to our audience for from Depósito Sonoro, that
Wow.
you play complete, around profound, deep listening album, that you say you put this from the first track and you don't stop, because that's the way the artist intended, the
Yeah.
curation of it.
Pretty much everything. Like,
Okay.
obviously, I listen to a lot of things because of DJing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I did it, but like when I'm at home or whatever, I play a lot of vinyl,
yeah,
and I literally, that's how I'm, because I was born in that era where you listen to records. But I feel people, if you're into an artist, like you do, like you listen to the whole record. I think a lot of people aren't that much into music. Do you know what I mean? So they'll just like have it on the background and
yeah,
like they'll just spin. But I think those
yeah.
people have always not really been into music. But the people who are really into music, I think they still listen to albums, you know?
Yeah. What are you listening now? Maybe when you go to the supermarket, or maybe if you're driving or walking your beautiful dog. What is Amazonica listening to these days?
It's funny because because I'm playing a lot of like up tempo music for like DJing. When I'm alone or, just trying to chill out, I listen
Yeah,
to a lot of electronic, like Taicho. I don't know is how you say it, Taicho, like stuff that kind of without vocals, because it's so funny after the journey that I've been through
yeah,
everything. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to hear anyone's shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just like I don't want to hear what you've got to say. I just need to feel something. And so
yeah.
I've been doing that. And I definitely feel like when I'm like 80, I'll be making like really weird, like Brian Eno, like instrumentals. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's probably where I'll end up.
Yeah, and you are from the country of the UK garage, and and the creation of the ambient. So that's amazing. From it hasn't it hasn't passed a lot of time since Songs from the Edge and The Trouble with Harry. It's not so many years. That's what I mean to now, but a
Well,
lot of things have changed.
a lot of, well, the thing is, those albums actually were recorded a long time ago, but I
Okay.
had to re-release them. Through COVID, I worked with my lawyer and I basically got my rights back. But The Trouble with Harry is 20 years old. I did that when I was like still in
Whoa.
school, with Youth from Killing Joke. So for me to get, but they're kind of, that was when I was able to put them out on my own label.
Yeah, that's amazing because, well, the music is yours. The difference that, or a situation that a lot of artists cannot say that and are in this struggle with the damn industry, which is good, but it's bad, difficult situations. Uh, when you are creating your own music, like New Start, obviously you have a lot of influences. What do you think maybe could be the major influence for this new single? Maybe not the artist, but maybe something else. There's a lot of inspiration or ways to inspire.
Yeah, I think with that one, I was really I had been on tour with like Scarlord and like listening to like Juice World and Little Peep and X and all that kind of stuff. And like the pain of that I really got. But that's kind of where I wanted to get like that kind of trap influence on the bottom of that song. But definitely I feel like it's Nine Inch Nails for sure, which was like one of my favorite bands of all time, definitely. The
I was
synth,
reading, sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was reading precisely that you did it, did the new single in your home studio, right? In your place, your crib, and then you took it to the great Alan Mulder and Flood. How is that experience? Obviously, you are very successful, but these guys are legendary in music production. I think that's gotta be something unique, right? How is to work with them?
Oh, I didn't I went to Alan and I kind of played him my record and I was like, I need help how to finish it.
Yeah,
And he said, you should work with Cecil, who was working with him and Flood.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so basically I was able to work in their studio with Cecil for a whole month to kind of finish it off. So I'm so grateful for them because they really helped me out. Because I wouldn't have been it was just like it just really meant the world to me. And Cecil had just come off working with PJ Harvey, who I love. I'm such a huge fan. So when Alan was like, "Yeah, he's just been with PJ Harvey for it," I was like, "Okay, yes." And it was brilliant. He was like perfect person to work with. But just walking down the corridor in that studio, and they've got like the Smashing Pumpkins and Nine Inch Nails, like all the records. I was just like, wow, like so cool.
Yeah, yeah, because it's not easy to get to that point in your life, maybe in your musical career, where you can be able to say all these names you are near to in your career. Obviously, other people will mention you sometimes in some other ways, but I think that's lovely and really, really congratulations for
Thank
your
you.
live show, Amazonica. Harry, do you have already in your mind or prepared how's the setup gonna be? How many instruments? Just you? Are you gonna use a lot other collaborations? What do you have in mind for your next presentations, live presentations?
Well, I think I want to, when I was on tour with like Marilyn Manson and like Machine Gun Kelly and stuff, when I would open, I would play like songs that kind of made sense for that audience that I loved and mix them up together. And like Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name, like big songs that everyone would just like, there was a mosh pit and it would just go nuts. And I love that. I feel like if people don't know your music, it's quite hard, to get everyone riled up. So
Yeah.
I want to do a hybrid where I play what I as Amazonica, like a DJ set, but it also incorporates my own music, which I don't think anyone really does. Because I
Okay.
it's kind of like, I guess, a DJ set, but it's also an artist set. Because I feel then I can always, you know, I'm free then, and I can sing and I can do my thing, but it's mainly going to be like DJing with singing. Very much like how Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
like she goes up there and she'll do a little bit, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I won't be dragging around a whole band anymore. I've done years, my whole life has been dragging around a band. Like it's so freeing to be able to DJ, and just be like, right, let's fucking go. And but yeah, I just hope that people, when I get to that point where I'm playing my own music, that everybody knows the music, because that's the most fun as an artist, when people know the words and it means something to them. Um, so when that time comes, then it's like, yeah, let's go.
That's great. That's great. And for example, I'm a little bit curious when you go to this, because there are a lot of kind of different parties, of course, right? But these high profile parties, let's say, when you go to those high profile parties to play, to DJ, do you receive any recommendations from the organizers, or do you have, like some limits, what should not maybe sound, or how it is to work in that kind of high profile environment?
Well, I think at the beginning maybe, but not now, because
You
I kind of know, if it's a certain movie, I just need to know, like, are there going to be kids there? Because then I can't play any swear words. So that, like, that happened a couple of times where I'm like doing a huge premiere. I've got like an amazing set list, and then they're like, oh, it's also going to have kids. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'll have to like get rid of the whole set and just do it on, you know what I mean? And be like, oh my God. So, but mainly it's kind of, it depends on like who the people are that gonna be there. I kind of focus in on there's a special thing that I do, which is my big secret, is that if I'm in a club environment, like a celebrity club, or I always play to the most famous person in the room. Because
Oh,
with these A-list parties, basically how it works is whoever the most famous person in the room is, like, that's kind of like the main focus point. So
yeah.
if I know what they like, right, I DJ for them, and as long as they stay at that party and they're having a good time, everyone else has a great time. When they leave, everybody leaves. That's kind of how we
Oh,
go.
yeah, I got you. I got you.
So I kind of do it, but the trick is, if there's like a bunch of like really high profile people and they all like different music, then I really have to go. But that, I find that so fun, because it's like psychology.
Yeah,
But
totally.
also, I have to say, I don't play music that I don't like. And a lot of, so I do it in there's a couple. Yeah, I don't play music I don't like. So I'm not going to get booked for a party that's like a Taylor Swift party. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to book me.
Totally. That's amazing, Amazonica, because I think that's a luxury, but maybe a luxury that you've worked for and you have a
Yeah,
career and you got to one point where you can say, now I'm able to play everything I like, because you have to choose sometimes, right?
yeah.
What the dance floor needs, what I need right now. So I think it's because naturally of your highly success career. And this is, we say here that besides talent, of course, the music career is a career not so much of talent sometimes, but but as of resistance. If you are a lot of years doing it and going and working, things start to happen by themselves, right?
Totally, totally. I feel like sometimes that's what you're meant to be on the earth floor for, like I'm a music person. Like, it's running through my veins. I'll always be a music person, and that's just it. And some people, they're, book writers, or they're firemen, and that's their thing, and I was just born to do the music thing. And I genuinely, I just love making people happy. And so I had another interview the other day, and they were like, yeah, but your music's sad or whatever. This song is quite melancholic. And I was like, yeah, but that makes a lot of people who feel like that happy. Because I know that myself, because I
Yeah.
feel understood. Like, I love dark music, and it got me through my whole childhood. And it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy, and you're just like, oh, they fucking get it. Like, I'm understood, like I'm not alone. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really excited about everyone hearing the rest of the album, because
And-
it's so good. Like, I know I would say this myself. Like, I listened to it yesterday and I was just like in the whole, the whole thing. Like you said, I
yeah.
listened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As the artist meant for the listener to check it out. Yes.
Yeah, and I was like really blown away. I was like, wow. It's
Do you
really
do you have already a name for the
Victory.
album? Victory. Like, wow, you come with everything now. A new start, a song of hope. I was checking info regarding your new work, a song of hope and new beginnings. And this is, of course, a victory. So it's already ready. You are still working on it. Obviously, more singles are gonna come. Are there any collaborations? What can you advance us regarding
Um,
victory?
so no collabs, but it's done. Um, we're gonna choose the next single, and then I think I'm coming to Mexico. I'm gonna plan like a proper trip when the album comes out. And I just wanna like I've been to Mexico a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
My father worked for a Mexican company, but I haven't been as an artist, and I just want to kind of soak
Oh.
up the culture and stuff, and like go see some bands, like go to some like cool bars with some cool DJs, and just kind of get the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love the nightclub vibe of Mexico City. It's amazing.
Everyone
Not a
says
big,
it's the coolest place. Everyone's like, LA is over. Everyone's moving to Mexico City. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Well, Berlin always, right? Berlin is always lit. Bristol, I've seen that Bristol is now really, really alive, doing a lot of things in the streets recently, to keep the scene alive. But really, here in Mexico, we are 28 million people also, there's a lot of things. There's all here in Mexico. So it's going to be lovely to check you out and to see how you can make us happy in the
Yeah.
dance floor. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and your and your your curations of the songs, because I'm listening to you. Obviously, I check the work, and you grew up. Maybe you forged your musical personality when you were a teenager with hard music, right? You said
Yes.
Nine Inch Nails. You said a lot of things. So you forged your personality with rock, hard rock, heavy music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you? Would you?
So you go
No, go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
And even when I'm not playing rock, I kind of love that intensity, even if it's like dance music. I quite, maybe not for like the A-list parties, that's not so appropriate, but just that chaotic energy. I just live off that. I love it. I think it's brilliant.
And it's totally necessary, that part of music. What is your take, the hard fast, maybe, or not so fast, but the hard heavy music, it's totally necessary in general. What is your take, on how fusion and this era of music is? What about reggaeton, for example, or reggaeton, as we also call it, because in the fusion is something that now statistics say that it has accomplished the same amount of expansion as hip hop did in its prime. Now there's the same or more listeners, true listeners of reggaeton, than hip hop. What's your take on this kind of Latin music that took over the world recently?
I think it's great. I was so into Moonbaton. I don't know if you remember
Okay.
that. Oh my God. Like, I wanted to do a whole album of Moonbaton. Like, I couldn't get, like, I just couldn't figure out in my, like, the beat, like the production and stuff. I kind of needed some help with that. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just love that beat. And it was so cool. I remember I went to Miami for like the music conference. This was like quite early in my DJing.
Yeah.
And there was like a Moonbaton night, and Diplo was playing, and like Dave Nut, I think it's Dave Nada, who like invented Moonbaton. And I just, it was before Diplo and Major Lazer were like
Yeah,
huge,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
like, and I just went by myself because like no one I knew was like into DJing or on I was just like, I'm just gonna go to Miami by myself and just check out
Yeah.
the music. And I found myself in the middle of this dance floor, and it was just like, yes, Miami, like into it. And Diplo was playing, and I had this like just this moment, like I was DJing, but I wasn't like, I didn't, I was DJing. That's how I was paying my bills. But I was still like, I'm in a band, I'm a rock chick, like I'm not a DJing just to kind of pay my rent or whatever. And then something happened to me that night, like on the dance floor by myself, sober, may I add. And it was like a beam just went into my forehead, and I was like, I'm a DJ. It was so crazy, but it was all that kind of Latin, that feeling. I fucking love it. And I think for the next record, now I'm more experienced of doing everything.
Yeah.
I want to investigate, and maybe I'll collaborate with some people in Mexico, maybe in Brazil. And I think that would be great, and just kind of bring a different flavor to kind of my weird goth rock grungy. Like, I should
Because
do that. I should just go to Mexico and like get an Airbnb for like 2 months and like just kind of figure it out. I think that would be super cool.
for sure there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be wishing to work with you in a way. So that would
Hit
be
me up on
great.
the Instagram.
Yeah,
Send
for
me some
sure. For
stuff.
sure, for sure. We're about to close. We could be talking. Thank you very much. Great
Oh, thank
conversation. We can
you
be
so much. Woo.
one more hour. I'm gonna ask you some quick questions in order for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. Just one thing I wanted to ask you regarding the new record. So, the new record Victory is gonna be in the same theme, maybe, or same feeling as New Start.
Each song is different.
Okay, okay, okay,
Nobody knows that. Each song is it a different genre. So every
okay.
song, but it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a DJ set, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a whole round concept, but every song has its own musical personality in a way.
Exactly.
Okay, you have to disappear one of these from history forever. Okay, you gotta choose which one goes away: Beatles or Rolling Stones.
Oh, how can you do that to me?
You have
That's
no option. Sorry, sorry, Harry. Which one disappears?
I'm gonna have to say I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. I just actually can't do it.
Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd. I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
I
I imagine that.
Yeah.
Radiohead or Queens of the Stone Age?
Oh, Queens of the Stone Age. Radiohead all the way. Yeah.
Shakira or Rosalía?
I think let's go with Rose. No, let's go with. Oh, that's hard. I think keep Rosalia. Let's get rid of Shakira.
Okay. Thank you very much, Amazonica. We're gonna be uploading this for all our audience. Check the work from Amazonica. Congratulations on the career. And thank you for the time. And as now we are finishing this conversation, the vibe is amazing. I want to be on that dance floor, and I want to be checking how do you do your magic in order to with what do you like, because there are a lot of DJs that make compromises, of course, in order to have maybe a higher clapping or whatever. But if you are now in this stage that you are true to yourself, doing exactly and playing what do you love, I think the curation is going to be phenomenal. So we wait for you in Mexico, Harry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you also to Oscar Adame, of course, an important person
Oh,
here in the
love you
Mexican
all.